Good afternoon, everybody. Let me just check my settings first and foremost, because last time I did this, the Stream Deck was not cooperating because there had been an update, and we all know what happens with updates, especially on the phone. What's up with that, honestly? Hi, guys. Happy weekend, happy Saturday. I hope you are having great day off if you are having a day off, and I hope work is treating you well if you are at work. I am hanging out currently in spires of Iraq, just camping a bird. I think just died, so I might be here for a bit. And then the plan for today. Oh, the kittens are fighting behind me. Can you see that? Um, that's actually really good timing. They have been outside, both of them, not at the same time, individually, today. First Knox was outside in the garden with my permission for the first time. She's been outside once before because she's an escape artist, and I have no idea how she moved a block of stone, a block of rock, but she did from a hole in the barn door. So that's that. I had to go out and fetch her because she was suddenly outside in the garden, and she was very, well, she's curious. She's a brave cat, but she was a little bit thrown off, I think, by the fact that everything was open. There was no ceiling. There was just sky and trees and birds and sounds and insects and lots of really weird smells. So she was outside today for the first time, with my permission, with me out there with her. And then Bumler, the red guy, that was his second time. And he did not want to come in because he was busy hunting everything, basically. He was crawling around in the bushes, hunting birds. Didn't catch anything, but just he was having the time of his life. But I had to go and pick him up because I was really cold, and I just really had the sniffles afterwards. It was about 2 o'clock, so an hour or so ago, and I wanted to go back inside and get ready for stream, and I need about an hour or so to get in the mood. Well, not in the mood, but sort of set the switch on my stream settings in my brain. Is that a thing? And make some tea because I was cold. So I hope I didn't catch a bug or something. I might have inhaled a bug or something out there, but a virus bug. I don't know. I wasn't around anybody. You never know. But VJ is here. Welcome. Hi. It's been a while. Made it just in time for stream. Hello, Waterman Chat, and hello, kittens. I wonder if any of them are gonna kick the other one out, because they sometimes do that. There's plenty of space on the bed, though. And I've got old Kitty with me on the side in her bed on the couch at the moment, where she's been the entire day. Almost. All three of them really prefer to be around me, which is nice. It's a cat mom, that's really nice. Validation. I really want to be around all three of them at the same time as well, so it's nice for me that they want to actually come hang out at the same time. Kitty is still not really fond of the kittens, but she tolerates them unless they get too close. They get smacked. The streamer mentality has to be strong and charged up for sure. It's just, you have to. Well, today, actually, I don't know if you can tell, I put on some more makeup than usual. My face and my complexion can't really handle that much makeup, but I put on a bit of eyeliner in the corners of my eyes today, just because it's Saturday, and I felt like it, and yeah. But other than that, nothing special, really. I put on a different top, because usually, in the morning, it's still not warm enough yet. So in the morning and early afternoon, it's quite cold here. So I walk around with, these ski jumpers. Does that make sense? Really warm but thin sports clothes. So sports shirts and 2 layers of trousers just to keep warm. But then I did some vacuuming and I cleaned the bathroom, and then I was warm, and then I went outside, of course, to hang out with the kittens, so they knew they could sort of return to base. I was out there with them and to keep an eye on them in the cars. You know, I'm such a nervous mom. I'm such a nervous mom, but it's better. It's getting better. I feel better every time because you can see, okay, they are actually cautious and they are actually lying low. And they're not just sprinting out into the road. But I am always very nervous every time there's a car that comes by. It's like, where's the cat? I try to consolidate myself. This sounds really horrible, but I need some kind of consolidation if something does happen. If I do lose one of the kittens, or both of them, God forbid, knock on wood. I don't know. Any kind of protection charms. We hope that does not happen. But if it does, I try to think, well, I won't lose all my cats because I've still got old Kitty and she's just never going anywhere near the road. That's good, I guess. Rookmore to start today. Hope you get them out. Thank you. It's only attempt number 8, so it would make sense if I didn't get it. Although it would be fair, because I still don't have the Nalak mount, and the Shah of Anger took me almost 200 tries, I believe. So it would be nice if the game just handed that one over. The plan afterwards is to level an alt. I have mentally prepared myself and planned to level my survival hunter because I've grown weary of the path of ascension. It's fine with, I was about to say Caligos, Pelagos. Why do they all have the same name? Almost the same. Pelagos. He's fine. He's quite easy to do the Trial of Humility with. Clea, I think I could push through and get that done. Mechanicos, though. How does anybody do that? So I would like to save myself the pain and get to level 70 because apparently the trials will not scale. So they will be much easier to take out at level 70. So that's the plan today. Not to do the Path of Ascension, but to get my Survival Hunter leveled. I can't get it to 70, but we can move up there. Also, I didn't know what to do with my hair today because I went for a run with a hat on, you know, like a beanie, a thin beanie. And that just makes my hair immediately look flat and sad. So I didn't know what to do. So I just put it up in a bun when I was vacuuming, and that's what you get today. I'm tired of my hair these days. I've been entertaining the thought a couple of times to just chop it all off, but I'm not going to do that because I have looked at myself in the mirror and that will be too much face for me. Too much face. It won't be good. So that's not going to happen, but I am thinking of whether I should get short hair again. If there is some way to have like a more fluffy hairstyle, because I've had short hair before. I've actually had working my way from shoulder length to all the way to a quite short, boyish, what's that called, that cut? Like a tomboy cut, I think it is what it's called in the WoW character creation screen. A pixie cut. I've had a pixie cut before, and even shorter than a pixie cut with a bit of an undercut as well. So I've been all the way there when I was younger, And that's not where I wanted to go. But when I did have the shoulder length and sort of right below the ears, it was quite flat. Granted, it was growing out at the time, so I didn't really do much. But I was looking at, I had my old student ID. I was looking through my wallet to find my Suica card for when I go to Japan, which is the train card for the trains in Japan. And I found my old student ID from when I went to university. And it looks really silly. I've got probably hair this long, and then it's just completely flat behind my ear. I think it's probably also because of the camera's position and whatnot, and the fact that I had to look up a little bit so the hair falls back. And it's one of those where I thought to myself, yeah, that is too much face. That is too much face and not enough hair. And too much jaw, and we just no, I'm not gonna chop off all my hair because it's gonna look worse than it does in that picture. So I was thinking if I could get the hairdresser to do something with a bit of a, I have no idea what that's called, when it goes forward and it gets a bit longer here, and then with a bit of fluff. So shorter in the back and longer in the front, and a bit of fluff. If I've got thick enough hair, because my hair has recently gotten a little bit, not thin at all. It's still got loads of hair, but not so much in the front. So I don't know if you could work any kind of magic. Which is also one of the reasons why I thought to get shorter hair, to thicken it up a little bit, to see if it wouldn't be good for it. You know, at some point in time when you've had long hair for a while, it is healthy for your hair to chop it off. But I'm not going to chop it all off because, again, too much face, not enough hair. Hello? We have been here for about 15 minutes now, so she should be up any second. Is that a he or she? The music is again very quiet. Hang on, let me just I'm wondering why this. Oh, there we go. That's better. The sound was quite quiet for you. I was wondering what was up. The kittens are sleeping now. See if I can show you. They are 2 long sausages. Boomley is just he's about as long as the frame. I don't even about as long as a frame when he really stretches out, which is why I think there's some Maine Coon in him. Vanko, thank you so much for the 11-month resub. 11 months, and hi, how have you been? How's work going for you? I am probably going to look at a house one of these days. I haven't gotten a reply yet, but there is this. I don't want to get my hopes up because it is an expensive place. But first, it was this. It's not a farm because it's got a lot of land, but it's not really farming. Or what's it called? It doesn't have fields of grain that it grows and farms and stuff, but it's got a lot of land, and it's a farm-like house, an old farm that's been rebuilt quite recently. Oh, there he is. Ah, no, not aim shot. That's too much. And initially, well, I got some leggings. I got some leggings of flowing feathers. Where's the feathers? I don't see any feathers. Oh well. That's something. It's not the mount, but it's something. And initially my parents were looking at it, just checking out the scene to see what kind of properties could be bought instead of building their own place and, you know, weighing out the pros and the cons with each option. And it wasn't really, well, it was probably a bit of a dream of my mom's, but my parents aren't getting younger, and there would be a lot of maintenance with the place, and that's just not, my dad won't be able to do as much maintenance on a house anymore, which is why he wants to build one that's a lot less maintenance. So initially, they had a look at that, and my mom really wanted to get it, I think. But that wouldn't be fair towards my dad. And now there is a chance to, or there's the option to not buy all of the land, but just buy some of it, and then the farmhouse, of course. And that would make it considerably cheaper and considerably closer to my budget. We're not gonna walk and talk here. I'm just gonna run ahead. And yes, I know I'm not flying on my dragon. I prefer to ride on my horse, to take in the scenery and immerse myself. So I'm probably going to have a look at the place and see what the opportunities are, and see what kind of negotiations we could make if it's a place for me. Because again, if it is a lot of maintenance, there is just me and my cats. I wish I could set my cats to work to, you know, paint walls and maintain the roofs and mow the lawn and vacuum and stuff. I can't, unfortunately. You should be able to earn your keep. They can't. So it is just me. So if the place is too big and too big of a mouthful for me, then regardless of how gorgeous it is and how perfect and how much of a dream it is for me, then it won't be an option if it's too much maintenance. I'm gonna turn down the effects a little bit. They're a bit loud, no? I really dislike this quest. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I really dislike it because you're killing these gorgeous, sweet otters. And you're killing a lot for a heart. You'd think they'd all have a heart. Why do I have to take out 50? I feel so bad. Otters are utterly precious. I'm so sorry. I didn't plan that one. Did I tell you guys that I went and got a blood test done the other day? Well, I got my numbers back, so to speak, and the place called me after opening hours. So the phones were actually closed, and they called me in the middle of work, so I couldn't pick up. And then when I tried to call them back, well, the phones were closed. So that was a bit of a bummer. And generally, so what I check is my iron, the iron in my blood, because I've got a bit of anemia. Can you have more or less anemia? I've got anemia, as many redheads do. So I, on a regular basis, get some blood tests done so I can keep an eye on the numbers. And most of the numbers look completely fine, within normal, actually better than they have in a really long time. And then there's one number. I looked it up. So a couple of years back, when I discovered my anemia, it was down at 0.4, I think, and it's supposed to be 30 to 120 or something. So the fact that it was 0.4 was a bit of a crisis. Something we had to do something about really quickly. Now, it was up at 240. which is twice as much as is normal, as it should be. And I looked it up and it said, well, those numbers are normal for a woman between the age of 50 and 200. 200. I could not help but find that incredibly funny. Has there ever been a woman who's lived to be 200? It was a bit easier for the males. They just had one category. They just had between such and such, from the age 0 to 200. I guess you can't just say 100 because people do get older than 100 years old. But 200? That's quite optimistic, I would say. Let's go and turn this one in. I've got my spring mug today. It's got some spring motifs, an egg, some flowers, a lamb. This is a really disturbing lamb, by the way. It's got really dead eyes. But I don't have the heart to tell that to my mom, who gave me the... It might be raining, it might be a little bit chilly and ew today in the weather, but the birds are singing. They are having the greatest time, and it does smell like spring out. It feels like spring. And there's these waves of, I don't know if you guys have experienced that before, where you sort of, as you walk through the landscape, you walk through these walls or these areas of hotter or colder air, and there's these sort of gusts of warmer air outside, which really makes it feel like spring. I'm gonna just queue up for some random dungeons too, because that's way faster actually than just questing. I got up 2 levels yesterday through doing just a few quests and the intro to Dragon Isles, and then 1 dungeon. So we'll be doing a bit more of that. I heard some disturbing speculations recently. Or not speculations necessarily, but it has been addressed by developers in some interviews that the whole dragon riding thing has changed the game for flying quite a bit, that it will be hard for many players, not myself included at all, but for many players it will be very hard to go back to the old way of flying. It feels really slow. For me, it doesn't. Me, it feels perfect. It's so relaxing. When I go back home to the old zones and I can fly like normal, my brain is very happy to be able to relax a bit. But yeah, so that's been addressed. So I just hope that if they do something like enabling other mounts or enabling dragon riding in all zones or future zones, just future zones, I really hope they give us the chance to choose not to dragon ride. I really hope they give us the opportunity or the choice to just normal fly. You think that's a lot to ask for? I'm not really sure. It's not, I've gotten a little bit more used to dragon riding, I must admit, but I'm still not a fan. I still very much prefer going back and normal riding. Also the fact that you can just hover in the air, so you can fly for a bit and then say you need to go and get your coffee or your tea or you need to go to the bathroom. You can, and you can just linger there, but you can't do that with dragon riding. You actually have to be actively flapping your wings. I guess you can fall to the floor without actually dying, but it's not as handy. Ow. I'm squishy. I forget I don't have Death Strike. Why did I not free this guy? Beg your pardon. Oh. No. 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 I'm just gonna do the main quest line. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I have done all these side quests in Unarmed Plains before, so, and I don't expect this character to. I mean, I guess I do have to grind out renown at some point for recipes. That's really unhandy. That's another thing. Okay. I love the fact that professions are so relevant these days, but I am not a fan of the grind for the recipes. That makes me kind of sad. I just want to get to 100 and make my swords and my braces and my bows and my potions without actually having to get reputation 25 with everybody. Okay, I think this is actually the quest where I wanted to tame a pet. So if you can just go and have a rest for a bit. I wanted to get one of those new saber-tooth tigers. Maybe I should dismiss him a bit later. I think this is the one I really liked. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna bring him back for a sec. Just until we get to the... Is that the one with the spots? There is one with spots. I don't know if that's him. He's got a bit of a unique color, but I'm unsure if he's the one with the spots. We'll see. Okay, so you can be dismissed. And can I tame him? That's the question, if he's an exotic pet. Why? Is that because he's a mysterious beast? Oh man! Okay. Worth a shot. Yeah, he doesn't have any spots either, so it must be another one I'm thinking of. These are really, really cool looking pets though. Why is he categorized as a mysterious beast? What category is that? Have you seen the new upcoming crystal snails? They look really cute. It reminds me that I still kind of want it sometimes, wanted to create a hunter that was keeping bees. So I'd have my bee mount. I would have 2 bees as pets, one in orange and one in yellow. And then I would have, you got Bumbles, which is a little bumblebee, as a pet. That would just be the sweetest, cutest thing. Those bumblebees are some of the cutest. Did I? No, I didn't do anything with this dragon yet. I've tried to design my drakes per character, so I feel like I ride a different dragon on every character. But I do still miss my collection of mounts. I was debating whether I should go shopping earlier today. I was in the mood to go and get fresh bread, which is sort of not really that fresh because it's bake-off. We don't have a baker here, unfortunately, so the only way to get fresh bread is to make it yourself, which I have done. So I do have the fresh bread. There's no reason to go get fresh bread. And then some pastries or something. But I had pancake. I had a brunch this morning. I had fresh sourdough bread. I had a boiled egg, which has been such a long time since I had a boiled egg for breakfast, or boiled egg in general. And then leftover American pancakes, buttermilk pancakes. So there was absolutely no reason to go to the store and get these things that would be far inferior to the homemade stuff I had here. It was just a mood. I might go and do it tomorrow because I've got nothing on the schedule tomorrow except for a run. I did my chores today. I vacuumed and I cleaned the bathroom. And we have this box of cleaning tools. And it's just been so messy for so long. And I'm going to be living here by myself. It's my parents' place, but it's fortunately just going to be me soon. And that means I can finally clean up and tidy up. My parents aren't messy per se, but well, my mom is kind of messy. But they're just not that great anymore at those really sort of the bigger tidying up things. They do the usual, the vacuuming, the cleaning of the fridge. Oh, out, this is gonna hurt. The bathroom, but you know, inside the drawers, inside the boxes is not something that gets done. Also, because my mom is so busy with the work. So I really look forward to doing those things. That's what you might notice a note hanging on my closet behind me. That is my list of stuff I want to do from next weekend, I guess. I could start tomorrow. I did start a little bit today with that box. But that includes all the drawers in the kitchen. And it includes, excuse you. It includes cleaning inside the fridges and all the tables and everything within the cabinets. Most of the stuff that we use is fine, but you know when you have things lying around your cabinets for a long time without using them, and they get sort of sticky? Have you tried that? I don't know where that stickiness comes from. I do know that some stickiness can come from, you know, when you're cooking, some oil that gets oil in the air that then sticks to, say, your coffee machine or anything, any appliance you've got sitting on the table. Okay. Why am I hungry? I feel like I just had lunch and I did not. I should probably go for a walk after this stream because the only outdoor activity I've done today has been watching the kittens. Which was an activity in its own. I don't know how many calories you spend worrying, but I must have spent some. So I just don't know why I'm so hungry. It's me. I do think my body, my tummy works on a timer. It's used to being fed at certain hours, so if it isn't, it will complain. And that it doesn't matter how much I've really exercised. I'll be hungry regardless at, well, the second I open my eyes, basically, for breakfast. Then at noon exactly, or a little bit before. No, wait, also at 10. At 9 or 10, depending on when I got up in the morning, I will be hungry again. And then at noon exactly, and then at 3. Like clockwork. Always. It's good to know when you are outside on trips, I always have snacks in my bags. Because I don't want to be around me if I'm hungry. It's not a good time. It's something I inherited from my mom. She's like that too. Also, she's a runner like me, and she's got the same body type as me. So we're quite similar in that sense. And also with the eating. It's not like we eat much, like big meals every time we eat, but it's just like clockwork. We require meals. So I could have just put my back to that pillar. Oh well. Smart move. I'm really happy with the just transmog, by the way. I was considering which character I should use it on, and this just fits perfectly. Did somebody sneeze? Did you catch something too outside? It was cold, you know. It is cold, which is why I don't really allow the kittens out for too long. Though they are really curious, because it's still... Winter hasn't really released... Nature hasn't really loosened its grasp quite yet. And especially when the sun isn't out, it's been dark and gloomy and grey all day today, which is super cozy when you're just sitting inside all day. And I went for a run yesterday, so... But it doesn't contribute to warmth. And I knew it is that time when I have to start training the kittens, so to speak. Them being outside, because they've started to get curious, and if I'm not careful, if I don't do it in a controlled environment, they might, like Nox did, escape, and suddenly they're outside and it's out of control, and suddenly they're in front of a car. Or I mean, she nearly... I wouldn't say she nearly got, but it was a little bit risky actually when she escaped, because at that time exactly, there was this hawk sitting outside in the middle of the garden, about 1 meter from her. It was just, that could have been pretty. She's not big. What is good about them, what I noticed today, is that, especially Nox, she's calico colored, she's tricolored. She hides really well in the bushes. Works like a camouflage. And Bumler, the red one, he's not bright red. It's a very soft, almost, how would you describe that? I don't know what that's called in English. What is that called in English? That color of the inside of a... Oh dear, words. And then a boss at the same time. Seashells. Inside some seashells, you've got this beautiful, almost gem-like substance that essentially in some mussels create the pearls, I guess. No, too late. I don't know what I was about to say with that. Oh, that's basically the color he has, with a bit of red. So he also kind of hides well when there's not too many leaves on the trees. He hides really well in the undergrowth. The stream is so stable these days. I'm such a happy streamer. It really behaves. It's wonderful. Yo, what's up, Stapleton? Happy weekend. Do you have a day off today, or are you working? Because I do know somebody are working. Hello from the States. Been watching your YouTube videos. Surprised to catch you on. Well, hello, Pimento. Welcome to the stream then, and thank you so much for watching the videos. It must be early on your end, isn't it? Or, yeah, a little bit early. Must be morning. I'm doing keys. Oh, best of luck with keys. How high are you going today? Eee! What are we doing? Have day off. Oh, that sounds good. 10:42 a.m. So that means 5 hours. That's not too bad, actually. Behind. Ooh, this tank got a little bit annoyed by the fact that we kind of had to pull that patrol that came by. Sorry, sir. I beg your pardon, sir. It was not to annoy you, sir. Okay, I'm gonna wait a little bit because he wanted to pull big pack, so he's just body pulling at the moment. And 3, 2, got it. Ow. So much for the timing. Did you guys do anything nice this morning? Then I have this habit of planning my my days off, especially the mornings, where I will all week I will look forward to my Saturday morning and how to best enjoy it. It's a kind of a carrot for me, especially if I've got a really boring or really long week ahead of me. I need something to look forward to feel motivated to get through the week. So for instance, today I had leftover pancakes from previous weekend when it was my parents' birthday. And I had that to look forward to. So this boss is even kind of nasty on normal. This is just normal difficulty. Only thing I didn't do nice was wake up to go to work. Hate working weekends. Oh, so you are working today. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope we work treats you well though today. Do you have Monday off then? Or midweek? Wait for cooldown. It's normal. Can't we just go? Excuse me, sir. Well, maybe he's practicing. That's fine. Let's just say he's practicing. No, I ain't that special. Oh, let's go in. So when do you have time off then? If you say you work on weekends, you can't work 7 days a week. Or can you? That shouldn't be allowed. I used to have this job. I only worked from Monday to Wednesday, but we worked all night. So we would start sometimes at 4 p.m., sometimes at 6, depending on where we had to go. We would be controlling inventory, so we would basically be counting everything in a store all night. And depending on the store, that would literally take all night. And I had some mornings where I came home at 6 a.m. And I thought I would get used to that. When I started the job, I was pretty sure that at some point I would get used to it but because it was only Monday through Wednesday, I would be used to it on Wednesdays, but then the week would be over, and I would spend Thursday, Friday, Saturday readjusting again to a normal schedule. And then Sunday would be nice, would be good sleep, and then I would start all over again. Okay, let's just leave. Normally Monday, Friday, and then once a month is Saturday. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I guess it's good money though. Oh, ow. Not on Wednesdays. On weekends. Though it is kind of rough, I will admit. When I was in high school, I got my first sort of real full-time job in a grocery store. And I continued to work there through my was it both my first and second year? I think it was just my first year of university. So I worked in the same store, so I had to travel from the city out to a bit of a countryside-ish. It wasn't really countryside, but just a town area at 4 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I think I could. When did I get up? I think I got up in the morning at 3:30 a.m. to then take the train around 4:30. And then I would get in at work at 6 and we would start stocking the shelves. That was tough. And that was weekends. That was really tough. I remember that was probably the worst I've ever done. You gotta do what you gotta do. Honestly. To exist in this world. Which is why it's so nice to have WoW sometimes. To just escape. Now I want to be sure that I don't accidentally take out the ducks here, because that would make me feel really bad. Do you ever have situations in WoW or quests where you accidentally attack these yellow, sort of the friendly targets, and you feel really bad? Is that just me? It's like, no, I didn't want to take out the ducks. I just use an AoE ability. One of my main damaging abilities on Frosty K is Howling Blast. And that's an AoE. And it jumps from, if there's a gathering of targets, it'll reach them. And I will refrain from using it, even though it does deal a fair amount of damage. I will refrain from using it on a target if it's too close to a yellow target, because like that duck is just walking around minding its own business. It didn't ask for or provoke an attack of frost. It's just, I would feel really bad if I took out innocent creatures. How could you kill a duck? Don't say that! That's exactly what I ask myself every time that happens. Like, how could I? If I can, if there is a chance to, I will shadow meld or run away. It does mean I spend considerably more time. Oh, there's a spotted one. Hang on. Okay, let's miss. Spotted prowler. Come over here. Yay! Okay, that's gonna hurt. Very small. I don't know what I feel about the stealthed pets, though. Slows his movement. First attack from stealth receives a 20% bonus. The thing with stealth is I would like to see my pets. But I guess we'll fine. We'll stick with this for now. Especially if they're cute. Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Especially if they are cute. I mean, is there anything I don't find cute in this game? To an extent. Oh, nice. Took me forward. I was lucky. I guess I don't particularly find these big gulp frogs. I don't find those particularly cute. Is there anything else I don't find particularly cute? I mean, I guess everything is cute in its own way, even if it's ugly cute, you know? You're a butterer! No! I'm so sorry. I need to make my way to Valdrak and to design my dragon. I need to figure out what drake to use. I primarily ride proto drakes, and so here in this case I won't be using my wildfire bomb because that means AoE. That means these cute little turtles will be hit, and they didn't ask for it, so I will refrain from using said ability. No! Cat! What are you doing? No. Okay, it's not the worst that could happen. Not the worst animal I could take out. I need to figure out a name for this one as well. It depends on how he behaves. Oh, I should queue up for another dungeon. I'll do that in a sec. I find the 2 slimmer dragon mounts too hard to handle, despite them being the same as the bigger ones. It's the look of them makes it feel trickier. Well, there's a cliff crawler, the wyvern-looking one, and then there is the Velocidrake. And the Velocidrake is a model I don't particularly like riding. It's the same with it's the same model as those pterodactyl-looking dinosaurs. And there's also a Throne of Thunder achievement mount that has that model. And I don't particularly fancy it, especially on the ground. It looks like a chicken when it walks, which is fair. It's just not my thing. And the other one is too small and way too quick in its movements. So dragon riding does make me slightly sick, but it's even worse with those smaller dragons. There's too much sort of like this in a roller coaster. And my brain gets dizzy. Frozen Highland are the best. They are. I'm sorry. Well, we've got that Slither Drake coming. Is that what it's called? I want to call it a Slither Drake, but that's probably not it. That one looks right up my alley. I probably will be riding a Slither Drake on this character come next patch. I need a Salamander heart, and I'm so sorry, Salamander, but I'm taking out the entire population of salamanders for a heart. Don't they all have hearts? Dragon riding is the silliest thing that Bliss has ever invented. I want my regular mount back. Join the club. We've got 2 members now. Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I mean, a lot of people enjoy it. So that's good for them. That's a good thing. But I also just want my regular mounts, my regular flying back. It was fine. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. If it ain't broken, don't fix it, is my philosophy. I don't know who got the idea. I mean, for many, it's the best thing that happened since toast, but I'm just not a fan. It makes me dizzy, and I completely lose the immersion. The thing with regular flying is you've got time to take in your surroundings, and you can fly low on your dragon, but not as, not as constantly as you can on your regular flying mounts. So you can't take in everything that's going on around you. And one thing I've also really been a fan of is the fact that you start out being unable to fly until you get Pathfinder. And I know it's a grind, and I know it's really tough if you go back in old expansions and have to get Pathfinder. But the good thing is that it really helps with the story immersion. It's not a race. But I do know that the market, the gamers these days, are looking for faster games. I mean, you need to be really heavily stimulated because we're so overstimulated in our brains. We can't watch a movie without having to look at our phones and take a phone call and eat all at the same time. So everything has to be very quick. And the other thing is that they want rewards really quickly. It's not so much about the process anymore, it's about the reward in the end. And I am of that generation that I enjoy the process, which is why I've got so many alts I level, and which is why I like normal riding, ground riding, or normal flying mounts, because it's about the process. It's about immersion, what you see on the way. It's about the world around you and the little quests you do along the way. It's not about getting to max level for me. For some it is, and bless those who enjoy that, but that's not me. So I really, really hope they soon figure out a way to offer us regular flying in the Dragon Isles, because I am getting tired. It's getting better. It is better. I had reached some point where I didn't feel immersed at all in the world, in the game. I wasn't really interested, even though the graphics have never been better. The story is great. The characters are good. I just didn't feel the immersion, so that kind of killed it for me. And then I said to myself, you know what? Try to not dragon ride. And I did just that, and it helped so much. I do miss just hovering over a spot on a regular mount. That's the thing. You can't really do that anymore, but that was part of the enjoyment for me as well. I like how fast it can go, but that's it. In the beginning of Dragonflight, I must admit I really enjoyed the dragon raising, but now it makes me slightly nauseous. So I'm still doing the advanced tour quest line, because I do one of the raises and then I don't do one for a couple of days, and then I do one more. Which is a bit of a bummer, in all honesty. Next expansion, it'll be regular flying. No clue what the story theme will be. I hope it will be regular flying, but there has been, I don't remember the details, which interview it was and with who, but there has been this talk that they can't really go back. They acknowledge the fact that they can't really go back to normal flying now, because people have gotten used to dragon riding, and the players feel that regular flying is now really slow, which I don't. But that's again, how is your brain wired? How stimulated is it used to being? I'm gonna I don't know. Have you ever experienced where you're trying to say a sentence and you sort of inhale one of the words? You breathe at the wrong moment. Anyway, I'm gonna go and check the fireplace and see if this button works. Might be right back. Button is looking weird. I'll see if it works. Check the fireplace, stretch my legs for a minute or two, and then I'll be back. Okay, I am back. And I don't think you can see it, but you can sort of see it. The kittens are completely knackered. They're just lying completely flat and stretched on the bed. The trip outside really wore them out. It's great. Now I get some peace and quiet for the rest of the day. So handy. It's a bit of investment. It's like I guess it is like because I've never had children, so I don't know. But I'm assuming it is very similar to taking your child to the park and then coming home with them, and then they'll just be flat on the sofa or in their beds until dinner time. Wildfire. I have no idea what to pick here. That sounds good. I'll pick that one. And Serpent Sting. Oh, I missed that one. Is that worth it? Stampede. Oh, Death Chakram. Oh, that sounds like too much fun. That sounds like too much fun. Pull this one down there. Perfect. Yay, more stuff on my boss. I was a little bit bummed out when Dragonflight hit because they removed so many of the abilities for survival hunters. It felt like, at least with the talent builds and whatnot. Orientation. But we're getting some more stuff in the boss. That's great. Spices up the rotation. Regular flying does feel real slow now. They should up the speed. I mean, I don't see why not. They could just enable faster flying for us. I probably wouldn't pick faster for myself, but having the opportunity to buy it and maybe pick how far. What if, hear me out, what if you could go to your settings, or you could choose maybe in your spell book, you could choose how fast you wanted to fly. So you could learn advanced or master flying or whatever, the fastest maybe 600%. But you could choose just to go 300, which we've got at this point in time. Because, like me, you'd get dizzy if it was too fast. But you could also choose to go faster, if that's what you wanted to. That should be possible. That shouldn't be too hard to program, but I don't know. I'm no programmer, so sounds like they're having a good afternoon. Yeah, I will say that Bumler, the red one, he's very vocal when he wants something. And he was not hesitant to tell me that he wanted back out after I dragged him in. I practically dragged him inside because he was so immersed in hunting amongst the bushes, and I was getting cold and I needed to make some tea and set stream up. So I had to kind of carry him inside, and he was meowing. Let me back out. He does that, and he will really suck up to you. He will purr and he will rub against your hands and your legs, and he will lie down on the floor. He's practically walking right next to one of your legs and then in between your legs, so it's really difficult to walk because you almost stumble over him. I have stumbled over him a couple of times. And he'll lie down on the floor, belly up, just I'm real cute. Please feed me, or please let me outside, or please let me out into the barn. He's terrible. He knows how cute he is. But I'm a very strong woman, so mentally strong, so he does not convince me. Anyone just joining the chat, Autumn is talking a pet elderly man. I'm talking about a pet, not an elderly man, that is true. Oh, I must choose my lounge around, Maruk style. What could allow cooking? Maruk cooking put. I mean, that would be nice, I guess. I gotta sell some stuff. My bags are a bit full. Ooh. Yep, I can buy some stuff from you. There we go. Little old man for a pet. Tickle his fluffy ears and let him nap in the corner. Well, he's not an old. He's 5 months and he's as big as Kitty is now. And Kitty is my almost 20-year-old female elderly cat who's lying next to me, and she doesn't walk very well anymore. I'm a little bit worried for her. She's got arthritis, and up until this point, she's gotten quite a lot better with medicine, but it doesn't seem to work that well anymore. And I'm a little bit worried because at some point she's completely fresh. Well, she's sort of fresh in the head. She's dumb sometimes, but aren't all cats dumb sometimes? She's relatively fresh in the head, but she really doesn't walk well anymore. She can still jump up onto my bed, and as long as she can do that, we're fine. We're all good. But it does make me a little bit worried. But she is an old kitty, and she still eats. She's in great shape, but she's got this super muscular chest. She looks a little bit like a ball because she's now used to pulling herself up and basically supporting most of her weight on her forelegs. So she's real beefy up top, and then she's very narrow on her hind legs. How come cats get so big instantly? Yeah, I was sitting yesterday watching a movie with surrounded by my cats, and I had Nox. Nox is very much a lap cat, and she was lying on my lap, sort of on my arm, and I thought back to the time when I met them for the first time, and she was this big. She didn't have eyes yet. She wasn't. She was a week, maybe less old. And then I saw her again a couple of weeks later, where she was still this big, and she had just gotten eyes, so they were very blue, and she was the first one to have escaped the box that they were in, which really showed me that she's an escape artist from a very young age. And she was sitting there in the box after I had her in my hands and just looking at me and looking at me and looking at me. It was the most interesting thing. She's a cat. She looks a lot, almost stares. She'll just keep looking at you like this, really studying you. It's a little bit unnerving, but also very interesting. You could see that her brain is working, that the cogs are turning. Whereas Bumle is a little bit more just go. Don't think, just go. So Nox is mostly my cat, and Bumle was supposed to be my mom's cat, but they're both my cats now. Spiced game meat cooked. Okay, I thought I had to carry it over. Some stalkerish. I like to think that she was taking in my features and ingraining them on her, sort of in her memory. But it is true, that was a little bit unnerving. In terms of why they get big so fast, though, because I was sitting there and I was thinking I couldn't quite comprehend how they had been so tiny, and now they were basically the size of adult cats. They are slowing down, but I think there's definitely some Maine Coon in them. I don't know if it's the father. It's probably not the father. Could be the grandfather or something further out. But there's definitely some genes there. You can clearly see it on the male cat, because the way that he's sort of, I wouldn't call noodly, but they're very long, and then they've got, what is it, longer hind legs than front legs a little bit. And then he's got a really long tail, and they're both semi-long haired, which means they've got semi-long fur. It's not completely thick and long, and it's very soft. And I was looking after a Maine Coon. He was also a kitten. What was he, 6 or 7 months? He was considerably bigger. What am I supposed to buy? Am I supposed to buy a honey plum tart or something? Yes. He was considerably bigger. Maine Coon I was looking after at some point. But he had the same sort of wide face that Bumle has. So there is something there. And it also explains Maine Coons are very affectionate cats. And Bumle is very affectionate. You just look at him and he'll start purring. Some tiger in there. Probably. I would have also named him something a bit more tigerish if it was up to me, but it was my mom who named him. Genes make them fat. They're not fat at all. They're very, very slim. Sorry, I've got cat hair in my face. I've always got cat hair in my face. They're very slim cats. My brother's girlfriend's parents also have quite a chubby cat, but that one they just feed too much, basically. I have insinuated to her mother at one point, maybe you should not feed him so much. They basically just leave food out for him, which is usually not a good idea. Usually it's a bad idea to have a meal schedule for cats. You've got, even if it's 4 days a week, 4 times a day. Just meal times is usually healthier for the cat because it gives, like it is for us, it gives our digestive systems a chance to actually digest before we just stuff more in there. Where else are you meant to keep cat hair if not in the face? Yeah, you know, behind the ears, up the nose, stuff like that. My cat used to steal ham and pizza rolls. That is hilarious. Oh no. I actually, I need to be really careful because Bumle is also, he loves food, and he did that before I got them neutered. They're both neutered because I don't want any kittens around, and I don't want them to run away or too far away from the house and whatnot. But he loves food, and there was one afternoon I came back from work, and they've had this habit. They finally stopped after many a spraying with plant dusters and yelling and, yeah, scolding them. They've stopped jumping up onto the kitchen table. I started out just waving my arms and yelling at them, and when that didn't work, they kept doing it. I brought in the plant spray because that works. But they had still not gotten used to the fact they were not supposed to. What am I? Oh, I've already gathered the flowers. I'm just running around, confusion. I came home, and they had clearly been on the kitchen table because this house is shaped a little bit like a U, an upside down U, and the side I'm in is basically the stable building that's been built into the main house. And so you've got a bit of a walkway in between, and then you've got the kitchen. in a bit of an L shape. And they had taken from the kitchen table. I came home, walked into my room here, and on the doorstep lay a bag of digestive biscuits, which meant that one of the cats, definitely Boom, had jumped up onto the kitchen counter, stolen the digestive biscuits, and dragged them all the way into my room. He hadn't eaten all of them, granted, but he had tried to tear the bag apart. It was just the funniest thing. I came home and I thought, why is there a bag of digestive biscuits on my floor? This is the most random thing. So I'm pretty sure he would steal pizza rolls too if he got the chance. Okay, I want crit and haste. I can't get crit and haste. Then I want haste. But oh, it's not yet. Later. Don't leave the ham out. Must be put away right away. There was once old Kitty really learned her lesson to not be on the kitchen counter was when she was very young. And she went up there because there was a salmon. There was a whole piece of salmon, which is also really, really risky business when you've got a cat. There's a whole piece of salmon on the table, and she had jumped up and she had started eating it. Unfortunately for her, it was my dad who found her. He got very angry. And she's never been on the kitchen counter since. I remember just coming home from shopping, not even a chance to put them away yet, and he'd already gotten into the ham. That's rather impressive, you know? I will say the cats are also very, very interested in my groceries when I come home, but that's mostly because of the bag. They love shopping bags. So I'll come home and I'll empty the bag, and they'll play around inside the bag for a while before they get tired. All right, quiz time. Which clan upholds our ancestors' traditions and guides the Maruk according to their ways? The ancestors. That would be... I don't remember. The Shikar, the hunting things. These are the battling things. Terai? Which clan is made up of centaur from across the plains who have owned a special connection to a god that's owned near? The largest military force is the Nokut. And then the hunting is the Shikar. I remember. Now I can pick one of these. Haste was. To deter my bunny from nibbling on the bars of her enclosure, it's recommended to put bits of onion in the places to put the bunny. Rabbit ate the onion. You can't always be sure with those things. I tried various things with my plants as well because Bumle was very, very interested in digging into my plants, especially my big bonsai was suffering the consequences. And the bonsai being a tree, he would actually climb up into it. It was awful. I got really angry at him. Don't touch my plants. I tried lemon peel, which is supposedly something they'll stay away from because it's sour and they don't like the smell and the acids. That didn't work. Then I tried putting aluminium foil all the way around the pot, and it was sitting on the TV desk here, and on the TV desk to keep them away because supposedly cats don't like stepping on it. They don't like the sound of it. Not these cats. These cats love aluminium foil, especially when I press it into bowls and throw it at them. So nothing really worked until, again, I used a plant spray, which I'm really not fond of it, but it is just water. I was considering that it might not work because Bumle loves to go to the sink with me when I brush my teeth and play with the water. He does not mind getting wet at all. I hope you guys can't hear my keyboard. That's a lot of clacking. only thing that put her off was the smell of fish. Interesting. Is there such a thing as bunnies not liking fish? I mean, they're not fish eaters, but... Okay, I need to use that death chasm a bit more. See if it's worth it at all. My friend's cat love aluminium bowls. It's an easy and cheap toy, you know, if I don't have anything else. Because I do need, at this point in time, they're so old and they're so used to the surroundings that old toys or new toys won't keep them stimulated for very long. They recently got a new toy, this mouse on an elastic string, and they loved it. Nox took it and she ran with it. She would not allow Boomle anywhere near that mouse that was hers. But they played so much with it that one, the battery was making this sound. The battery ran out, and now they can't really be asked anymore. So now I have to get a new one. Really, it is just time for them to get outside. Oh, whoopsie daisy do. I'm so sorry. No one steals from us. For biting with the teeth and slapping with their... Almost anything a rabbit will try to nibble. A bit like goats in that respect. Really? I've never had... But that's not true, actually. My brother and I did have rabbits very, very temporarily. It's a bit of a horror story, actually. I don't think my mom has quite forgiven my grandmother yet. So what happened was... we brought these very, very new rabbits to my grandmother's place, and I don't know who. It was, I think it was another kid. I think it was my, okay, this is a bit far out. It was my grandmother's boyfriend's brother's son who was, he used to come over and play with, I think with me. We're quite close in age. And he had a bit of a, let's just say he was a little bit too curious about some things. And he actually let these rabbits out of their cages outside, which meant that one of my grandmother's boyfriend's dogs, which was a hunting dog, got a bit too close to them. Its teeth got a bit too close to their necks, so to speak. I'll just leave it there. That was very sad. We were very sad, I remember. And my mom is still angry about it. She still brings it up on occasion. Yeah, you remember that time when... yeah. Love this dungeon. It's a really good dungeon, actually. It's quick, and it's got some very good fights, and it got some very good dialogue as well. I look forward to doing it on High Mythic Keys, actually. And I look forward to seeing Chronolor Deos again at some point in the future. My mom's granddad used to keep rabbits in a shed. When she was a child, she liked one of the rabbits. This one's mine. And her granddad said she could have it. She didn't realize that he meant cooked. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, that's so morbid. That is the worst. Oh, girl. That would turn anybody vegan. Or vegetarian, at least. Attack totem. Where is the totem? Where is the totem? I wonder what I should cook for dinner tomorrow. Today will be... is he okay? Hello? Today will be very, very light. I've got some eggs and I've got some leftover meat, some leftover salad, and I'll boil some rice, I think, and I make kind of a stir fry out of it. But tomorrow, I gotta think. I look forward to there being more space in the cabinets for my things, so I can bring out my own spices. I use quite different spices and herbs than my parents do. My cooking has been very much influenced by my time in Japan, so I use a lot more Asian ingredients and prefer like rice and fish and chicken to, say, pork and beef and potatoes, which is very Danish. If it ain't cow or pig, I ain't eating it. I don't like the gamey taste. Does chicken and fish taste gamey? What about eggs and vegetables and pasta? Vegetable, yes, as long as it's not broccoli. You're one of those. I love broccoli. Broccoli, spinach, cabbage. There is very few vegetables I don't like. Is there any vegetables I don't like? I don't like olives. Is olives a vegetable? And then I prefer really sweet tomatoes. Like if you go to Italy and you get tomatoes in Italy, the sour ones in Denmark, I can eat them, but I'm not a big fan. Oh, do I need to move out with it, or I don't understand. Are there any vegetables I don't like? I don't have a pet. Where'd he go? I love carrots. Radishes? I'm not a big fan of radishes. I like daikon, which is big white Chinese or Japanese radishes. I'm not actually sure what they're called other than daikon. But small pink radishes are a bit too peppery for me, actually. But I can still eat them. I won't mind in particular. Kale, oh, I love kale too. Just not too much of it. There's this amazing salad I make, sort of in periods. I have phases, so to speak, where I make a thing a lot, and then I stop completely, and then I make a thing a lot, and then I stop. So these days, what I make a lot is this salad of finely chopped kale and small cubes of raw beetroot, and then with a really good feta cheese, just a little bit, not too much. My mom tried to make it recently and she put in way too much feta cheese, so it's basically just a feta cheese salad with a little bit of kale. And if you have some walnuts as well in it, it's really good. Google says olives are fruits. Well, okay, then I don't like olive fruit. But other than that, and in my opinion, they are grubby, chewy, and horrible. Olives and capers are probably, and raw eggs are probably the only thing in this world I will not eat. I mean, I am curious to try olives again someday, but capers are just an abomination. They're not nice. My palate finds them very unpleasant, at least. Yeah, that's probably it. And the raw egg I mentioned because that's something they do a lot in Japan, is when you have sukiyaki or yakiniku, you will have a small bowl of raw egg that you dip your meat in. And I can't. I just can't. Capers. Capers with a P. Often when you serve smoked salmon here, you will have some raw onions, some salt and pepper, and then capers with it. If the onions are red onions, I will take them, a few of them, but otherwise this taste is a little bit strong for me. I need to get my hands on some of those really fluffy lava spiders. I've seen people with them. I'm not really sure where they've gotten them from. I think it's somewhere around the Obsidian Citadel. Is that what it's called? Where Sibelian and Rathian hang out. I need myself some fluffy spiders. Capers are the things Scots throw in log throwing competitions. Well, I have never chewed on those, so I don't know how they taste, but I reckon not very good. Probably tastes like pencils. Well, then we know how they taste. I have tasted pencils before. We've all been children in school. Oh dear. Why do we do so silly things when we're kids? Why must we stick everything in our mouths? I still to this day remember is it called lead or lead? Lead? The lead taste from the pencil? Not healthy. Really not healthy. I stopped that pretty quickly. Oh, it would be nice to take him out before he does his circle thingy. Oh, that was so close. Curiosity killed the cat. There used to be a boy who ate ink cartridges, would pop them open. What? Oh, how is he feeling today? You know what? I'm not hungry anymore. let's change this topic. Let's not talk about eating lead, okay? Funny enough, every time you smell glue or a pension, you can taste it though. That's because our taste buds and our nose is connected. So if you if you pinch your nose, you won't be able to taste anything. That's why when you're all clogged up with the cold, you can't taste anything. He became a diver for the Navy, had 3 kids, and got a divorce. I see his wife catch the train sometimes. Okay, so he turned out all right. Man. And, you know, I often think that they worry way too much about what can cause diseases these days. They're very aware of how many percentage of such and such chemical is in the water, for instance. There's a big debate thingy going on at the moment in Denmark. And I just feel like they're wrapping us up in cotton. You know, we used to eat dirt and things off the floor, and we're still alive. I think it really it's much better to your immune system to get a bit of stuff in there for your body to just, I mean, honestly, don't eat anything poisonous. Don't take what I say with a grain of salt, okay? But I do think it's healthy for kids to chew a little bit on a beetle and, you know, lick on a pencil. I don't know. Do you? Because toddlers do it and baby animals do it. It's the way that creatures learn what is good and what is bad for you. And it really helps build your immunity towards different diseases. Because if you don't eat a bit of dirt and you roll around in the grass and you get a bit of dirt unwanted in your tummy, maybe it would have been really good if you had eaten a bit of it when you were a kid. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I used to study biotechnology and chemistry, but I stopped. Well, I didn't stop, but I studied it in high school and I didn't pursue it. It's been around for how long? Still alive? It's as if you ate bugs as a child. I did. I didn't eat worms, but I definitely ate some ants, and I definitely chewed a bit on a cockroach. I don't remember if I ate dirt. I probably did. I mean, who didn't make meat pies? Meat pies. Mud pies. I didn't make any meat pies myself when I was a kid. I made mud pies. Oh, he's got a nice voice actor. Very, very infinite dragon-like. I'm glad we don't take him out here. I'm glad there's actually more to him and he's gonna pop up again. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoopsie daisy. It's always the hunter. I'm that person now. I usually don't play a hunter, so I'm usually not that person. Maybe I did it on purpose just to give it you a cockroach. I don't remember where we were. I think we were on a gas station traveling at some point. My parents were really good at traveling with my brother and I when we were kids. Still are, but mostly when we were kids. And I think we were at a gas station somewhere, and I was standing next to the car, clearly chewing on something, and my mom went up to me and she went, "What are you chewing on? Spit it out for me." I spit out a cockroach. So I didn't actually eat it, I just chewed on it a little bit. And I turned out semi alright, I think, I like to believe. Yes, times were out. So today, kids, we don't have anything stocked in our fridge. So we're gonna go on a little trip. And we're gonna eat what we find. We're gonna go hunting for some cockroaches. No. You're a kid. At least I didn't eat ladybugs or anything. And it's only, honestly, he got what he deserved. They eat our stuff. It's only fair we chew them up a bit. I mean, there are people in this world who eat bugs. I'm pretty sure there's people in this world who also eat cockroaches. Oh, the music in here is amazing. Sorry, I can't help but smile when there's amazing music and amazing voice acting. Just for this tiny little dungeon. Oh, I had a quest with this, apparently. Okay, so I got the chainmail. I'm not gonna pick that one then. I'll pick the ring. Well, you turned out fine. You can jump long distances. Yep. Sure I can, and I can shoot laser beams from my eyes and fly and turn invisible and get very, very small as well. Did I level up? I think I did. So that's I'm telling you, that's how you get superpowers. You eat cockroaches. You just chew on them, not eat them. Ready for my audience. Well, at least you only see the good side of me. What? Oh no, my transmog is off. Petrol soap cockroaches. Oh, it's all dark and gloomy in the game too. And really sets the mood. And fits the outside of my window as well. I'm really excited to see that house. I hope I'll go see it next week, and I really hope there's some opportunity there, because there is just me. And I have saved up quite well, but the market isn't great these days. We all know costs of milk has gone up along with everything else. It's become more expensive to be human. A house, a viewing. Ooh. Well, I haven't set it up yet. I've contacted the guy that owns it. Initially, my parents were looking at it. It's got a lot of land to it as well, so it was way out of my price range. So I didn't go and see it. I didn't. There's no reason to. But then my mom messaged me this morning and said that the guy who's selling the house is willing to sell off a bit of the land and then just sell the house with a little bit less of the land. And that brings the house into a much more reasonable price range for me. It's still too high, but we'll see what he says and how it looks. It's a lot of land. I don't know. Is acres? Yeah, it must be. So it will be, what was it, 6 acres or something. So it's a fruit plantation and a couple of fields, and there's stables there, and everything is newly renovated. It's an old farm, but everything is newly renovated, and there's a horse stable and a fruit plantation of all things. And it's quite nearby without being too close. So I'm very, very excited. I think could be something, but I'm gonna look at it. It can't be too big of a house because this bean does not want to vacuum a 200 square meter house. No. Well, 200 is fine, but more than that, no. That is the limit. What am I doing here? I'm consulting a provisioner. Excuse me? Hello? That's probably not now. That must be because we're a bit phased. But that would be an ideal place. So I'll go have a look at it. Ooh, another level. Yay. Oh, I should look at talents. Bleed damage increased. Serpent sting. Do we want serpent sting? Do we want serpent sting? I'll start with this one. I'll have a look at a WoW hit a bit later to compare. See if I making the correct decisions. I'm not gonna go into any high level content on this character anyway, so I'm gonna pick what sounds the most fun. 5 bedrooms, 0.5 bathroom. No, that we don't want. So the ideal place would have a bedroom, an extra room which I can use as an office, and then a guest room. 2 guest rooms wouldn't be bad either. That would be fine as well. And then 1 or 2 bathrooms, and of course a yard or some land. I want a vegetable garden, and I want some fruit trees, and I want space for my cats to run around in, and I want to be able to plant some flowers and some trees and have some spots where I can set up these little bird houses and bird feeders. I'm really excited to have my own place. It's just, I gotta find the perfect one, and I need to be a bit patient. It helps that I can rent my parents' place here. They are living elsewhere, so I rent this place while they're going to build here as well. So there's going to be some noise while they build, but I think I'll live, and then I have to convince myself that it's fine, that I'm not in any rush. The longer I wait, the more I save up, and the more secure my position in the current company I work in will be. But it's just, when you're excited, it's difficult to be patient. Land to grow vegetables on and raise a family of animals. Exactly. Exactly. Birds and cats and a horse. And maybe a goat to keep said horse company, or sheep. You can't have a horse alone. That's not good for it to be alone. One of my friends finally moved in with her boyfriend after 6 years. It's nice. They have their own place, but it's very small. The bed is one of those short ones you see in the shop, like 4 feet. Well, I hope they really like each other then. Imagine getting into a fight and not having anywhere else to sleep. My parents have always been really good with, they have had extra rooms, or they have had a couch, because sometimes my dad will snore and sometimes my mom will snore, and the other will want to move elsewhere. It's so funny. Sometimes they'll discuss what happened during the night. Well, you were snoring, I couldn't sleep, or you were moving too much. They've also had a really bouncy bed at one point, so every time one of them moved, the other would just be bouncing up and down. Oh, isn't marriage fun? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Okay. Provisioner. Can I consult them now? Don't forget a perch in the garden for your... What? I don't... Why would he think he's a bird? Okay. And now... Arphawk's horns. Or that giving him bird seed for Christmas. That is true. I did give him a lot of bird seeds, but that was for the birds, not for him. That's very well remembered. Bird seeds and this tube that you can put bird seed balls in. Those fat and grain balls. I made my own actually. After a Christmas meal, there was a lot of, so when you cook duck or goose, as we had for Christmas, there's a lot of fat that sort of gets drained from the bird as you cook it. And I made that fat into bird feeding bowls. And I was wondering while I was doing it whether it was wrong. But then I remember that some people actually leave out these, so you know, these bones you can give to dogs, for instance. You can give them to birds as well. And that is basically some kind of either a cow or a pig, right? That's meat. And the birds really need that fat, especially during the winter, to stay warm. So it's actually really good for them, but it does feel kind of weird to feed them duck fat. Is that inappropriate? Am I a terrible person? I won't ask them. If I sit still for long enough, will he eat on the ball of my head? Oh man. We got so many birds around here. It's really nice to watch them. We've also got those pheasants I mentioned. Every morning, one of the male pheasants comes along. Sometimes he brings his boyfriend. It's quite interesting, actually. They're not competitive at all. You would think so with all the female pheasants around in the area as well, but nope. They're always together. It's really cute. That is a bit weird, feeding birds more bird, making them birdier. Well, maybe that's what they need for the winter. I have no idea. I have no idea. I just remember I used to watch this kid's television program, and he taught us kids how to make our own food for the birds. And he would basically be using leftover fats, or we have these cubes that you can buy in the store. So, and he was like a nature guy, nature specialist dude. So, I mean, he must have been, he must have known his stuff. I'm gonna slow this bird down. Let's see if I can get it out. No. Cat is not feeling so good. Cat needs a name. Name him Spots. Maybe I should find some. No, my cat. Name him something fish related because he's got fins. That's not what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to take out Manit. Manit. No, no, it's my turn. My turn. No. Are they not turtly enough for the turtle? Oh, we also have deer who come into the garden. Actually, we had been keeping apples in the stable or in the barn for a while because they preserve really well in that cool area. But they couldn't last any longer once we reached January. So we put them all outside in the garden, and we would have this deer. It was the cutest thing in the morning. He was standing right outside my window, just munching on these apples with his little white bum. It was just so cute. And that's just something the countryside shows you. You'll never get that in the city. We also have a lot of bunnies around here. I need to be careful when I take my bike to work in the morning, because just in that dawn light, there's so many animals out and about. Taking a walk to get their breakfast, or I don't know, just a morning stroll maybe. Give the bunnies to me, please. Be my pets. You don't have bunnies at the moment, right? No, I'm not gonna do any more of those. I should see. I need to keep an eye on the gray stuff that I pick up, so I make sure I equip it to get the transmog. You've got to be careful with that these days. An ox. Do we want that? Do we want to equip that? If I equip that, can I use my abilities? No. I can't. So we want Basilisk eggs. Oh, I know I need to get to Wild Dragon, actually, because I need to go and learn. Wait, what? I have learned Nobilism. Oh, I just haven't reached that level yet to actually use these. Alright then. Well, what were we doing? Gotta turn. Did these world quests just pop up? Were they still here? Were they there before? What? Was I blind? I could be. I got ducks. Want a duck? I want a duck. I would like to have a duck. Sadly not now. Maybe next year when my heart is a little less broken. I know the feeling. I dread the day that Kitty is not here anymore, that her heart gives out. It'll be really tough. She's been with me for 2/3 of my entire life. She's always been by my side. It'll be very, very tough. But it's a good thing. I understand why my mom convinced me to get the kittens, because they'll really act as a foil for that heartache. So I think it'll be a lot easier. It'll still be really, really tough, but it'll be a lot easier. World quests just reset. Ah, that's why then. So maybe there just weren't any around because they were resetting. Oh man, I'm so hungry now. I need to go and grab myself some yogurt or something before dinner. I would take a duck as a pet for sure. People feed these ducks and they like to hang around our front door. That's adorable. That reminds me, I used to have a classmate who had a lake in their garden, and they would get visits from ducks all the time. Okay, I think I'm gonna turn this quest in, and then we're probably going to wrap up so I can get a bit to eat. Here we go. What do we need? Headed towards the pond. And then we go to the pond. Yeah? Maybe. No. No, it's all the way down. No, I'm not gonna go all the way down there. I'm gonna go to the inn right now. Where's the inn? Excuse me. Where's the inn? Okie dokie. Well, we made it. We made good progress today, actually. Adorable until they try to get in your... Well, that is cute, though. Although, I mean, have you seen those videos of cows and horses trying to get into houses? That must be worse. At least these are just little ducks with their little duck feet. Might be a bit messy, but not as messy as a cow or a horse. That was it for the stream today. I haven't added a stream yet for next weekend, but there's going to be one next week, and I just gotta figure out if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. I'm trying to make it regular to stream at least once a week until I figure out what I do. And if you haven't, take a look at my newest lore video over on YouTube. If you don't know yet, I did upload the Scythe of Elune lore video. If you want to watch that, if you're into that. Otherwise, don't. Nobody's forcing you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a really nice time. So have a great rest of the weekend. Get some sleep, eat some good food, and I will catch you next week. Take care. Bye.